And I'm super happy she's coming down to Mom's basement to talk about her career and so much more. Kara Goucher's here. How are you?
I'm good. I'm nervous, but I'm also ready for this to happen.
Man, Kara, let's just get right to it. A 2022 piece from the New York Times written by Kevin Draper and Matthew Futterman details why famed Nike Oregon Project distance coach Alberto Salazar went from ban for 4 years for doping violations to ban permanently. And the piece reads that the United States Center for Safe Sport, an organization that investigates reports of abuse among Olympic sports, ruled that Salazar had committed 4 violations, including 2 instances of penetrating a runner with a finger while giving an athletic massage. The name appropriately by the New York Times not mentioned. However, there's all these identifying characteristics. And I'm sure, Kara, there were so many people probably at the time going, there's only a small number of people it could have been. But I believe for the first time here, you're identifying publicly that at least one of those times was you.
Yeah. Yep. And when that article was being written, it was one of the worst experiences of my life, if I'm being honest, because they wanted me to comment and they legally couldn't run my name until I had commented. And I was not ready to do that. And it was interesting when that article ran, I thought that a lot of people would just connect the dots. But what I got were a lot of texts and emails from people in my life saying, wow, that's so sad. I hope whoever that was is at peace. So it didn't, I was worried that people are going to connect the dots and just just point blank ask me. And that's not what happened, which I'm grateful for.
Did you say anything to Alberto Salazar at the time when that happened?
No, I said nothing. I was stunned. And honestly, I convinced myself it was a mistake.
In so many instances like this, you always hear that, right? Where the person who has this happen to them goes, oh, it must have been a mistake. It must have been. But clearly, now that you've been able to put the dots together from a lot of different people, this was clearly not a mistake.
Yeah. And understanding that and coming to terms with that took a long time, because it's one thing to have a really kind of icky situation with your coach, but he's the great guy and he's the dad, and you kind of put it aside as like, he's just a terrible massage therapist. And I felt bad. I felt bad that I thought maybe he had done something like that to me on purpose. And so for so many years it sat in that box, and that way it couldn't hurt me. It was like, oh, well, it was just an accident, an unfortunate accident. But obviously, as I've gone through therapy and talked with people, I look at it differently, of course. And that was really hard for me to reckon with.